because older adults do not want to become burdens to their families. Having friends also provide a buffer against the loss of roles and status that accompany old age, such as retirement or the death of a loved one, and can increase people's happiness and self-esteem. Siblings. The importance of these relationships varies with age. The centrality of siblings in later life depends on several things: proximity, health, and degree of relatedness. Social emotional selectivity. It is the theory that argues that social contact is motivated by a variety of goals, including information seeking, self concept, and emotional regulation. Information seeking is the predominant goal for young adults. Emotional regulation is a major goal for older people, and both goals are in balance in midlife. Their research supports this view. People become increasingly selective in whom they choose to have contact with. What are older adults' marriages and same sex partnerships like? Long term marriages tend to be a happy one until one partner develops serious health problems. Older married couples show a longer. What are older adults' marriages and same sex partnerships like? Long term marriages tend to be happy until one partner develops serious health problems. Older married couples show a lower potential for marital conflict and greater potential for pleasure. Long term gay and lesbian relationships tend to be similar in characteristics to long term heterosexual marriages. Issues pertaining to legal rights continue to present challenges. So, how do long term relationships change and develop from midlife through late life? A model was developed that takes into account the influences of genetic markers, personal characteristics, cumulative life experiences, and stressful events during the period from late midlife through later life. The key point in the model is that people bring their past with them when they enter late life, and those experiences, including their genetic makeup, work together to create the relationships that people experience as adults. Although Wickrama and initially created the model to describe baby boomers' marriages as they experience retirement, the researchers point out that the model is likely applicable to other forms of long term relationships, such as same sex relationships and cohabitation. What is it like to provide basic care for one's partner? Caring for a partner puts considerable strain on the relationship. The degree of marital satisfaction strongly affects how spousal caregivers perceive stress. Although caught off guard initially, most spousal caregivers are able to provide adequate care. Perceptions of competence among spousal caregivers at the outset of caregiving may be especially important. When couples pledge their love to each other in sickness and in health, most of them envision the sickness part to be no worse than an illness lasting a few weeks. That may be the case for many couples, but for others, the illness they experience severely tests their pledge. Even in the best of committed relationships, providing full time care for a partner is both stressful and rewarding in terms of the relationship. For example, coping with a wife who may not remember her husband's name, who may act strangely, and who has a chronic and fatal disease presents serious challenges even to the happiest of couples. Yet, even in that situation, the caregiving husband may experience no change in marital happiness despite the changes in his wife due to the disease. How do people cope with widowhood? How do men and women differ? Widowhood is a difficult transition for most people. Feelings of loneliness are hard to cope with. Men generally have problems in social relationships and in household tasks. Women tend to have more severe financial problems. Some widowed people remarry, partly to solve loneliness and financial problems. Women are much more likely to be widowed than are men. More than half of all women over age 65 are widows, but only 15% of men the same age are widowers. Women have longer life expectancies and typically marry men older than themselves. Consequently, The average married woman can expect to live at least 10 years as a widow. The impact of widowhood goes well beyond the ending of a long term partnership. For example, there is evidence of increased mortality, especially within the first week of widowhood. Loneliness is a major problem. Widowed people may be left alone by family and friends who do not know how to deal with a bereaved person. As a result, widows and widowers may lose not only a partner but also those friends and family who feel uncomfortable with including a single person rather than a couple in social functions. Feelings of loss do not dissipate quickly. Men and women react differently to widowhood. In general, those who were most dependent on their partners during their marriage report the highest increase in self esteem in widowhood when they learn to do the tasks formerly done by their partners. Widowers may recover more slowly unless they have a strong social support systems. Widows often suffer more financially because survivors' benefits are usually only half of their husband's pensions. For many women, widowhood results in difficult financial circumstances, particularly regarding medical expenses. What special issues are involved in being a great grandparent? Becoming a great grandparent is an important source of personal satisfaction for many older adults. Great grandparents as a group are more similar to each other than grandparents are. Three aspects of great grandparenthood are important. First, being a great grandparent provides a sense of personal and family renewal, important components for achieving integrity. Their grandchildren have produced new life, renewing their own excitement for life and reaffirming the